And so, obviously we mentioned you're an artist, but you also, like you said, you make space for other artists to perform and things like that. So I was just wondering, why is it so important to you to not only share your art, but to facilitate others sharing theirs and open those spaces for them?
Well, because gatekeepers suck. um, I think there's always a voice that needs to be heard. I think everyone's voice is important. And for me, when I was really young, I felt like my voice wasn't heard, but I heard similar voices, at least to me, in the music that I was listening to. I was a 90s kid and grew up listening like TLC and Mary J. Blige and all the girl groups from the early 90s, right? And I felt like my voice was really solidly, squarely with them and felt like a kinship with these women that I'd never met before and wanting to, even when I was a little kid, wanting to have that kind of uh, influence or community in IRL, in real
Yeah.
life, in my life. And so at one point in my life, I thought, oh, I'm going to have a record label. Record labels are kind of shady. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. If you're a music exec, you're kind of looked at as being the shady person. And so I thought, well, how can I engage artists and like have a space that's authentic or work with artists that are authentic, let them have their authentic voice and help promote artists without being seen as or kind of having to fill this role of kind of being shady and sticky.
Hmm.
And that was producing live events for me. And I think the poet will be televised. Right now we're paused. There's a lot of events are, and hopefully we'll be coming back later on this year or next year. But it really became a space that did feel very like welcoming and healing for a lot of people and for me.
I love that. Well, you mentioned that it was healing for you as well, and I wonder, is there anything that you learn from creating these spaces that maybe, or just some benefit that you get it that you wouldn't have gotten just from doing your own artistry, like without that collaboration or that exposure to others?
Yeah, I feel like you really learn how others see you for good or bad. Like when you're promoting an event and you go to other events and you talk about your event and the way people respond to you and like how much they think you can actually help them. That's one thing. I'm learning. I never really thought of myself as someone who really cared about how other people perceive me, but I realized I was. I was going out and promoting my event that it was like affecting me if people didn't take it seriously. And I was
Hmm.
like, I really just gotta let that go um and try to make sure the event is as good as possible and that everyone at the event is smiling.
Hmm.
Um so I think yeah, it's a different you really don't know how tough you are until you have like something that's yours, that's your baby and you're trying to push that and people are looking at you like you can't do it.
Hmm.
And you do it. So
Yeah.